live stream. Should be live pretty soon here. Check.
Yeah.
Should be going soon. We got some people in the chat already. Already kind of asking some questions early. The ones that can't stay up because in Slovenia this is really late at night.
Got some picks.
Everyone always asks us if Nick and Isaac played one-on-one, who would win?
Wait, where are you even seeing this at?
On YouTube.
Oh, it's not popping up on the. Oh, what up, Bates?
Everyone always asks us that question. It's probably neither of us. We probably both lose.
I wonder if we live streamed it, if people would watch.
Oh, no, they would just stop watching the podcast because they'd lose so much respect for us.
I think that's very true.
What up, everybody? Justin, Charles, Jacob.
Hey, everybody.
What up? Waiting for people to jump in.
What it do?
We're doing a live stream. Games are going on. What games are you guys watching? We know you're second streaming it. You're second screening it.
Greetings, gentlemen. What up, Greg? Luke, has Tatum ever been better than Luka? I guess there could have been a time when they're like 5. Even
yeah,
then.
ever in the history of both of their lives, has Luka Doncic ever been worse than Jason Tatum? Probably not, right?
No. Good vibes.
Good vibes.
I mean, great vibes, man. It's great vibes. Like, great vibes. Yeah, great vibes. No, sensational vibes. And, like, the vibes are immaculate.
I still don't believe that that's a full clip.
It's a full clip. I did not edit it at all. It's from...
How's RC in here talking to me? He's coaching the Pacers right now.
Rick Carlisle. Coffee Enthusiast said Ben Simmons is traded. Yeah, right. That would make this night insane.
That would be fun. He's traded to Dallas while we're doing this.
Oh, that'd be the best.
Like,
I would love that. I don't know if the trade wouldn't make any sense. The trade wouldn't make any sense, but we would enjoy it a lot, I think.
Whoa.
Oh, man. Where's everybody watching from right now? Give us some country check, state check, city check.
Country check.
We're both in Dallas, Texas, so.
Yes, we are. Dude, Cal's talking about LaMelo. LaMelo's balling right now. Love it. San Antonio. Been there a couple times. Cool city. If y'all have never been to San Antonio and went to a Spurs game, it's so unique where the stadium's at. It's like outside the city. It has its own, like, it's just such a unique setup compared to some other cities.
Joseph said his blowing big lead's a Rick Carlisle thing.
I wonder how
the Pacers had a big lead and then they just lost it to the Hornets.
Duarte went off in the first quarter and Rick's probably like, I swear I have another rookie. I have to. Oh, Charles in Lynchburg. Shout out. I lived there for a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
Charles Crowder. I wonder if it's David's son.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well,
a little
if you guys haven't done one of these before with us, we usually do a little bit at the beginning and then, like we're doing right now, just like shooting the breeze, and then we'll do the podcast, and then we'll stay on for a little bit after and answer some more questions. So we'll do that. Jay's brother.
More like Jay's brother.
What other Crowders can we think of?
That's it.
Julius Randle is destroying the Celtics right now.
Let's go.
All right. Here we go. This is how we're gonna do it. It's a mailbag, live mailbag. So start getting some questions in, start putting them in the chat, and we'll start the podcast up. We'll do all that, and then we'll start getting into your questions. So start getting your questions in now as Isaac and I
throw the questions in.
Get ready to do the podcast. Ready, Isaac?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Ready in... Are you recording your audio?
I'm not, but I will now.
That means you're not ready. Neither am I. How many times have we done this? Many.
1,300 times.
And it never gets old.
Never.
All right. Here we go. In 3, 2. On today's show, we are live on YouTube. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we're answering your questions. The season is starting tonight. The Mavericks play the Atlanta Hawks. If you're listening to this, watching this on a Thursday, it is going to be awesome. We're going to answer all your questions today on today's Locked On Mavs.
Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
Hey, Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and coordinator for the Locked On Podcast Network. And joining me, as always, my co-host, contributor, and writer at Mavs.com, the live lord, the one more thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
It feels so weird watching basketball, and it's like I'm just so jealous. I just need the Mavericks back.
It's not our time yet.
I need them back tonight. A lot of you guys are listening to this on your way to work on Thursday. A lot of you guys are in the YouTube chat right now. This is a live mailbag on Wednesday night. And yeah, Mavs basketball is back. Like actually legit basketball, not fan jam crap, not the preseason, but actually legitimate basketball.
Actual legitimate basketball will be returning tonight. If you listen to this on the podcast, this episode of Locked On Mavs is brought to you by McDonald's. Proudly serving communities since 1965, McDonald's has always been more than just a place to get tasty, affordable food. It's an unofficial community center. A big thank you for our friends at McDonald's for always being there. I'm loving it. We're loving it. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every single day. Remember, Locked On Mavs is free and available on all platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey app, and YouTube, where you can watch us right now. We are live talking about anything that you guys are asking about. We're
talking about your hair. We're getting multiple comments.
There's a lot
in
of stuff about my hair
hair
today. There is a lot about this. And raccoon gifts, of course.
When we have a hair gel sponsor, y'all know how we got it.
All right, let's get into it. Let's start right away with our first question. John Andre asked the question, can the Mavs beat the Hawks by 10 or more? If not, why? It feels like he may have some kind of line or some kind of wager on it. But let's start with this game against the Hawks tonight. How are you feeling about the Mavs' chances, and what do you think?
Can they win by 10 or more? Yes, they very well can. But no, I think it's gonna be a close game. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout either way. I mean, you're looking at a Hawks team that, I looked at the injury report. I mean, this so crazy to even think about from a Maverick standpoint, but the only people out for the Mavs are Ja'Cory and Amarui, just because they're the two-way guys. Everybody else completely healthy. Like when's the last time we've seen that?
That's been a long time.
Nobody on the injury report for Atlanta. Lou Williams is questionable. Gallinari is questionable. Kongwu, I think, is out. I think somebody else is out, but they'll have their main guys. And I mean, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So in Atlanta, yeah, I just want to, I'm going into it. I'm confident, I think they'll win, but I don't think it's like a home run either. I'm not putting money down on this game. Like if Atlanta comes out and wins this game by 8 to 10 points, I'm not shocked. And I'm not swayed that the Mavericks are like, oh my gosh. And, Twitter might be unbearable, but that's,
yeah. I'm interested to see how the Mavericks defend the three-point line. I think that's going to be a huge thing. They got three-point shooters for the Hawks. Like you said, Danilo Gallinari is questionable. Lou Williams is questionable, but Kevin Huerter, obviously Trae Young, and they got some three-point shooters over on their side. So the Mavericks are really going to have to live up to that billing. They've been talking about defense the entire preseason. Like Luka mentioned defense in one of his interviews after practice the other day, and then somebody mentioned that Luka mentioned defense to Jason Kidd, and Jason Kidd gave a little smirk, just a little yeah, they got it. It's working. They're talking about defense. He's like, yeah, that's what I love to hear. And so they really have been pushing that. And so if the Mavericks can defend the 3-point line, they can keep it within 10 points. But that's gonna be a huge thing, I think, in this game.
Yeah, and who guards Trae, right? I mean, if they're starting the two bigs, they're starting they're going to start KP and Dwight Powell, then Dorian or Tim, have fun chasing Trey around. It's probably going to be Dorian, probably going to put some size, on Trey. But
I feel like the Dorian thing was a Carlisle thing. I kind of wonder if they'll just throw Tim on him just to have somebody run around.
I mean, could, but if you're going to try to preserve somebody, I'd rather preserve Tim's legs for shots. But
interesting. Yeah, this game's going to tell us a lot about what Jason Kidd is going to do and what he's thinking about doing, right? Like, we're going to learn a lot about him for sure.
Yep.
All right. Here, let's go this one. Would Ben Simmons work on the Mavs roster? We've gone over this a little bit, but let's touch on this just here.
Yeah, he would.
How would he fit?
He would be your better wing defender, more athletic Dwight Powell. I think there would be a world, and I've been anti. Shout out to the days. Do you remember the discourse Luka's rookie season, to where there was like a faction of NBA Twitter? It was like, you're crazy if you would take Luka over Ben Simmons. Like, where are those people now? Are you still online? But no, if they somehow traded for Ben Simmons and you paired him with Luka, I think Luka could make it work.
Yeah, Luka could definitely make it work. The defense would be an absolute fit. The interesting thing would be Ben Simmons and KP. You'd probably have to trade KP for Ben Simmons because of contracts and all that maybe. But the interesting thing would be, how would they fit together? How would you share the ball? All that kind of stuff.
They could fit together.
Like, sure, it would fit. It's highly unrealistic and all that.
Well, just take Dwight Powell's role, and that's the role you'd put Ben Simmons in.
Yeah, you could, if Ben Simmons would be up for that role. Now, the way that he's been treating the Sixers, it doesn't seem like he would just be up for that role, right? It seems like he wants to go somewhere else. And
he's like Kyrie at this point. I don't know what to predict.
It's true. The whole quote about, I want to go to a different team and be able to make mistakes and all that, that seems to be a guy that just wants the ball in his hands and to dribble around. And he's like looking at Josh Giddey like, oh, man, that'd be nice. That'd be nice just to do whatever I want.
I would love to live in OKC.
Similarly, would you use a traded player exception on Marvin Bagley? Question from Luke.
I don't think he fits in it, right? Or does
I don't think he fits in it either. I think we went over this over the offseason that it was just outside. Now, there is a clause. I think there is a situation where if he doesn't start a certain number of games this season, which he won't, then it may go down. But I think that wouldn't be until next year. So, yeah. So, but it'll be interesting to see where Marvin Bagley ends up, because he's not going to play on the Kings. I think he's more far gone than Simmons is even.
What is Bagley make? Bagley makes 11.3 this year. Yeah, so he's a little bit past that. But I mean, if you could get Bagley for cheap, I'm all about taking swings at these guys. Kind of like the same thing as Frank Ntilikina. It's like, I'm all about taking swings. If you can get them for super cheap, then take the swing. I mean, not to bring up the Dwight Powell role again, but heck, throw him in there and say roll to the basket and just see what he looks like next to Luka, if it's for free, basically.
Good question from Robert. We'll get to right now. Is the team seriously better on defense, or is this just a preseason glitch? It's a little bit like, what did we actually learn from preseason? What can we take into next season, or to this season from preseason?
I was gonna say, I think it's two things. It's two things for me. I think one, they added depth. Like we saw, Dorian Finney-Smith took a question after practice, I want to say today, maybe yesterday. And he was basically asked, hey, how is it different, this year? Something along the lines of like having other guys. Basically, there's actually other players on the roster and play defense on the wing outside of you. So how does that like make you feel? And he had this answer of like, yeah, and man, I can like come out of the game knowing that there's still like, there's Reggie, there's Sterling, there's Frank, there's Frank. Like they actually have depth now. And I think that's so key. Now, when figuring out which two or which three you want to play at the end of a playoff game, that's up for Jason Kidd. But it's like now, yeah, if Dorian fouls out or if Dorian tweaks an ankle and he's out a few games, we're not like freaking out saying, well, who the heck's going to guard Paul George or whoever it is? It's like, all right, cool. We have Bullock. We have Sterling Brown. Like I'm excited about those guys. And I think those, for a lot of people outside of Dallas, it was, oh man, they didn't, hit the big name. But those tiny additions right there in the rotation and the wing, they can make a big difference for this team.
Absolutely. I think that it's understated how much role players can matter for a team. You start looking at some of the rotations. We were talking about the Lakers rotation last night. You had like two solid players to that Lakers rotation, or if two of those guys become solid at some point, it changes everything for a team, because then all of a sudden you fill some of those gaps, you fill some of those holes. And for the Mavericks, they had some holes last year. They didn't have a lot of wings. They add 2 solid wings. Reggie Bullock maybe even better than solid. And so you add those guys, and it eats up some minutes. I think absolutely this team did get better on defense. Now, it's still a lot on Porzingis. The Porzingis is going to make or break the Mavs defense in a lot of ways, I think. And I think that it'll be interesting to see how he looks, how he's being used on defense. We've been used to seeing Porzingis playing defense at the 5. Remember, Carlisle's whole thing was, let's play KP at the 4 on offense and 5 on defense. I'm not sure if Jason Kidd's going to do that. So he may be out there. Is he going to be out there defending Gallinari? Is he going to be out there? Or is he going to be trying, yeah, no, Porzingis.
And how much have we heard about defense's effort? And we just talked about it yesterday about how much these players seem like they're loving playing for Jason Kidd so far. And it's like, will we see it just a little bit, a notch up effort-wise from the Mavs, because they're playing for a coach that inspires them.
Yeah, it's so coming up, we'll get into some more questions from you guys. Our most anticipated game of the season. We'll talk maybe about a little bit about Josh Green. Did he get extended, or exactly what exactly happened with Josh Green? We'll talk about those things coming up. But before we do, Isaac, you mentioned that the Mavericks are loving playing for Jason Kidd. You know what else we're loving? McDonald's. This episode of Locked On Mavs is brought to you by McDonald's, serving communities proudly since 1965. McDonald's has always just been more than a place to get tasty, affordable food. It's a place where friends and family can come together, and you're like, hey, let's just go hang out and go to McDonald's. In college, how many times did you go to McDonald's with your friends or your roommates? Like, I feel like I went all the time. It's a place where you can meet up to study. They have Wi-Fi. I've definitely spent some time at a McDonald's doing work or watching a show when I didn't have it somewhere where I was, whether I was visiting somebody or it was out at my place or whatever. Win or lose, it's a place where teammates, competitors, the home team or the away team can come to recharge. So go check out McDonald's. So head to your local McDonald's and refuel and reconnect. We could even have a Locked On Mavs watch party at a McDonald's, possibly. That would be fascinating to see if we could do that. So go check out McDonald's after a game, after you hang out with friends, whatever you want to do. Go to McDonald's, get a quarter pounder, get a Big Mac, all that stuff. Get it right now. McDonald's, I'm loving it. All right, Isaac Harris, let's get into some more of these questions. We got a whole bunch of questions. This one from GM. What's the game you're most excited about this season? First of all, to me, it's almost the game one. It's almost the game tonight, right? Like I'm almost the most excited about this one because it's the first game, it feels like, in a long time, and I'm excited to see how this team looks. It's against the Hawks. It should be highly anticipated. GM says for him it's to play the Pacers against Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, I mean, that 29th game in January, January 29th, against the Pacers at home. It's a Saturday night. If you want to speculate on when a fun big ceremony could happen, it could be that night. And I think there was a question in the chat about that. I actually don't know the 100%, answer to that. I'm sure that date is set in stone already, but I just haven't asked around enough to know
the date for when Dirk's jersey retirement and statue and all that stuff.
Yeah, so the 29th, Rick Carlisle coming back into town. Do they have it on that day because Rick's there and it'd be cool to have Rick there for Dirk? Or do they not have it on that day because, hey, they want to honor Rick, the most successful, coach of franchise history? And it's like, well, it's kind of all that. So I can understand that. But it is a Saturday night game. There'll be a lot of people there. Families come to that. There's a lot that goes into that, weeknight games and all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a fun game. I mean, anytime you have a guy like Luka, him going against the top stars in the league you always look forward to that. Luka versus LeBron. Like the Lakers is, it's been a fun game to watch. They respect each other a lot. It's a lot of fun. Brooklyn, Giannis, everything. I mean, I don't really care as much about the Clippers without Kawhi, and there's nobody on the West. I'm like circling like, ooh, big time.
Yeah, that Clippers rivalry has kind of been deflated with the Kawhi injury, right? It's not going to have the same punch, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, okay. Miss Buckley asked the question: did the Mavs really extend Josh Green? So, and then with the
Missy Buckley,
the surprise face. Sorry, Missy. I forgot the Y. Did they actually extend Josh Green? And what does it mean? No, the Mavericks just basically picked up his option on one of the final years on his deal. The way that Mavs PR kind of put it out there seemed like an extension. It seemed like I guess technically they extended him, but not to the exact like semantics of the word, right? They just picked up his rookie option. It's what happens to basically every decent rookie is that's what happens. So they didn't like give him more and say, "Oh, you proved enough to us. We're going to give you this contract." No.
Exactly. I mean, basically they just have him under contract for a little bit. They could cut bait after this year if they wanted to, but not now.
Here's an interesting
smart thing to do, by the way, too.
Interesting question from Jacob. Will Jason Kidd use his first challenge in the first game? How do we feel like J Kidd's going to use his challenges? Because it was something we definitely watched with Rick.
It's something we watched with Rick, and we actually got a little insight on that on our podcast when we had Mike Shedd on, assistant coach who ran the iPad, for the past, years on the bench with Rick Carlisle. Go back and listen to that podcast. It's one of my favorite ones. Just getting to talk to Mike and explain that whole process. But he actually talked about like times that he told Rick, to challenge and Rick didn't challenge, or times that Rick would take the challenge just to shift the momentum. And how like one year they had a really high like hit rate on successful challenges. The next year it went down because they kind of shifted their philosophy in that. It was just so unique to hear how coaches use it. It's not always, we want to get the right call. Sometimes it's like an extra timeout and they just want to, stop the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, you might as well use them. So it'll be interesting to see how J Kidd decides to use it. And a lot of times it doesn't just depend on the coach. It depends on the people around him that says, hey, we should challenge this. Or maybe he uses it to boost the player's confidence. Like, hey, that player thinks that we should do this, and I want to throw that player a bone, and boom, I'll challenge it because that player said so.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll learn something like that. If he uses one, it'll be interesting to see in what state he uses it. Okay, question from Joseph.
State.
What state of the game he uses a challenge?
California, Georgia.
Well, it'll be in Georgia if it's the first game. From Joseph, will this faster pace help Luka get shredded by All-Star break? Are the Mavs going to play a faster pace? Do you feel like they are?
I think they will, yeah. I think they play a little faster.
With two big men still? That's a weird thing, right? The Mavs are committing to playing two bigs, and yet they also want to play faster, which every team says they want to play faster.
It's so unique because I think they will get the ball off a rebound and want to go. But I think if they don't have that, then I think it'll slow it down a bit because they're going to want to get KP possessions, right? And we've seen that. It's like in the post and, short corner and at the elbow and like all this stuff. So it's, will the stats have them as one of the top teams as far as pace? I don't think so, but I think we'll definitely see some fun, like get the rebound, launch it, outlet pass, let's go. Yeah, if that makes any sense. Probably.
Yeah, and hopefully, like, how do teams play faster? You get stops, right? You get stops, and then you can outlet the ball to the closest person that can dribble the ball, basically, right? And so if they have those two bigs back there, maybe that helps them with the pace. But will the faster pace help Luka get shredded? I'm not sure we'll ever see Luka shredded. I'm not sure.
Might not ever need him to.
Until Luka Doncic is in a Marvel movie, I'm not sure we'll get him on a regimen where he can get shredded. But Marvel seems like they can get anybody shredded.
That's true.
First, it was like Robert Downey Jr., and then it was Paul Rudd, and then Kumail Nanjiani is like insanely buff, and now like Will Poulter is super buff, and you're like, oh my God, what is happening to all these people that just go through?
I know. I'm gonna act like I know who all those people are.
Robert Downey Jr. Come on, you've seen the movie.
I know him, but I don't know who like Tim Coulter is.
Will Poulter is the eyebrow kid from Narnia. Remember?
Oh, okay.
He's in some of the new Marvel movies, and he's ripped now.
Interesting.
All right, coming up, we got a question about Jalen Brunson versus Tim Hardaway Jr. There's two things those players can do to make the Mavs better. Which one would be better for the Mavericks? We'll get into that coming up in more questions. But before we do, let me tell you about an app that has helped a lot of people. Isaac, do you want to know what makes LeBron James King James?
Nothing, because he's not a king of anything.
He's the king of sleep. Sleep is his superpower. Calm, the #1 sleep app for meditation, has teamed up with LeBron James to help you activate the power of sleep. Oh, man. You are a father of 2 small children. How much does sleep help your life?
A lot.
By the way, we have 77 people on our live stream right now. Let's go. LeBron and Calm know that your mind is like any other muscle in your body, but you don't have to be a world champion to know how to train it. Calm can help you train your brain so that you sleep better, reduce your stress, and perform at the best, just like LeBron James. He was shooting pretty well the other night. So if Calm is what's helping him, then I would get on this. Go to calm.com/LockedOnNBA. For a limited time, you'll get 40% off a Calm premium subscription. You can get all kinds of stuff, access to nature scenes that LeBron loves, rain on leaves, stuff like that. I always have to go to bed with something playing. It's either a show or something. And so I need to check out Calm, and I can get 40% off if I go to calm.com/LockedOnNBA. Unlock content to help you focus, ease stress, and sleep better. Get started at calm.com/LockedOnNBA. Again, calm.com/LockedOnNBA. Also, I want to tell you about Sweatblock. Sweatblock is a product that everybody needs, basically. Anybody that deals with pit stains, that deals with sweat, that deals with sweating profusely. We've been telling you about some of these people that have been trying Sweatblock that actually have reached back out and said, hey, I tried this and it actually worked. Straight out of Hollywood, we have a producer who is working on the set of a Marvel movie. We were just talking about Marvel. Maybe you've heard of Marvel. She was working 18-hour days a week in the Atlanta Heat, heard about Sweatblock and started trying it and now loves it. No more sweaty producing days. She even reports that one of the A-list actors uses it. It says maybe a green one. Interesting. To stay dry and on the red carpet.
Groot.
That was not. He's not on the scene though. He's just in a booth like Vin Diesel. Go check out Sweatblock. Stop excessive sweat for up to 7 days use. Doctor created, doctor recommended. Dry shirt guarantee. Not just for armpits. It's for chest, back, feet, hands, all that kind of stuff everywhere. Get 20% off at sweatblock.com. If you want to check it out, they have deodorant. They have all kinds of different things. Again, promo code LOCKEDON for 20% off at sweatblock.com. All right, Isaac Harris, let's get into some more questions. Taylor Lewis asked this question. Which should raise the Mavs ceiling more this year? Jalen Brunson being a legit sixth man of the year candidate, or Tim Hardaway Jr. being able to get his shot off the dribble? So I talked about Jalen Brunson being a sixth man of the year candidate. I actually picked him in our predictions pod for him to be sixth man of the year. That I think is a huge deal, and that's way bigger to me than Tim Hardaway being able to get his shot off. I think Brunson being a sixth man of the year candidate would take him to, like, let's say he's averaging like 15, 17 points a game, like 5 or 6 assists off the bench, something like that. The Mavericks are doing well when Luka's off the court. That to me raises, I guess maybe that raises the Mavs floor a little bit more, but still in the playoffs, I think it would help their ceiling as well.
Yeah, I think it's Tim. Yeah, I think it would be Tim in that, just because this would allow, I mean, one of the biggest things for Dallas, they went 7 games against the Clippers with an otherworldly Kawhi. And I think one of the biggest things that hurt the Mavericks, especially towards the end of the games, was how gassed Luka looked in the second half, in the fourth quarter. It's been the whole conversation, like, how can you keep Luka fresh, come the fourth quarter? And it's like, if you can have, this is the whole thing, if you can have another creator in the offense, it's like, could Tim be a reliable second creator guy? Like, you can give him the ball and give Luka a few possessions off here and there, but he can actually run the offense, when Luka's off the floor too. So it's close. It's close. It made me think about it. Like, JB being a sixth man of the year candidate, like, that'd be huge for the second unit when Luka's off the floor. But if Tim could be like a legit, like, I don't know if this is anybody, like, if he could be a CJ McCollum type, like, that would be huge for this team.
Absolutely huge. I think both of those things would be huge. The Tim Hardaway Jr. angle of it, let's try to make a case for him, is that if he can start hitting a shot off the dribble, maybe he can create his own offense, and then maybe he becomes the guy off, when Luka's off the court, to where he is the one that is creating some offense too. And him and Brunson can maybe be that backcourt that generates offense when Luka isn't on the court. And so maybe we'll see a thing where Tim plays like the first 5 minutes or something, then he checks out, and then he comes, back in later after Luka goes out, and then he is one of the offensive engines. So that could also raise the Mavs ceiling. But Tim just needs to hit shots, like spot up shots with his role in the starting unit, right? I don't think the Mavericks need him to be creating off the dribble just right now with playing with Luka, or at least going out and trying that stuff right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in a lot of the creator spots, creating for the other offense. And I mean, you just look up jump shots off the dribble, looking up synergy numbers right now for Tim. Last year, he was 46th in the league as far as percentile. and that shot 35% off the dribble. It's an average rating on that. If that could be a little bit better, be able to create his shot a little bit more, but also create for others at the same time, that would be huge.
Yeah, that would be absolutely massive. Another question from Luke here. Which rotation players do not play against the Hawks?
That's a great question.
That one's going to be interesting because we consider a bunch of players, I think, rotation players now. I think if Reggie Bullock's going to play and Sterling Brown's going to play and Dorian's going to play, I think Josh Green is probably not going to play against the Hawks.
Yeah, and this is another thing. It kind of comes down to, Jason Kidd versus Rick too. Like, how is Kidd going to run this as a shorter rotation? Is he going to run this? A lot of times we'd see Rick, he'd go kind of short in the playoffs, but in the regular season, I mean, sometimes Rick would go 10, 11 deep. But I think when you're looking at the rotation, you're obviously looking at the 5 starters. And then after that, I do think it's Sterling Brown. I think it's Reggie Bullock, Jalen Brunson. I mean, that's 8 at that point that you're looking at.
Sterling.
Well, I said Sterling Brown, Reggie Bullock, and Brunson. Those 3 off the bench. And I mean,
and Maxey, the other one I was thinking.
Yeah, so there's 9. I mean, I think that's the top 9. I think that's a lock. Outside of that, I don't know who. Like,
well, they're probably going to play 10 because Willie Collins, they'll play a center, I think.
I mean, you think, but it's like they're also starting 2 centers, right? Like, there's KP's gonna get some minutes at the 5, probably. Willie, I don't know. Like, will Dwight? If KP's off the floor, will Luka run some with Dwight at the 5? And Maxey out there with him. I don't know. Like, if Willie, I mean, I'm assuming Willie's gonna play, but like, I don't think Boban plays in this game. Josh Green probably doesn't. Frank Ntilikina probably doesn't, unless we've talked about this before. If Trey's like torching them, is Frank Ntilikina the break the glass, player this year? Like, hey, just throw Frank in. Let's see if he can keep up with Trey, like.
Well, the last time we saw Frank Ntilikina, who was playing against Trae Young in the Knicks the Knicks Hawks playoff series.
Reggie Bullock too.
Yeah. All right, couple last questions here. Jacob says, who ends the season with more threes, Boban or Powell?
Dwight.
Dwight is going to take threes. This is one thing I think we did learn from the preseason. Why you always laugh at me when I say that? He is. It's not something
I'm laughing because we've seen this before of like him taking threes. Like, it's not like
I'm just saying there's a new coach and I think he's going to take them. He took 21 last year, 39 the year before that, 127 that 18-19 season. So I'm the last couple of years, Rick has been like, don't take them, Dwight. Now I think Jason Kidd has come in and empowered him.
Yeah, and now let's just see if he'll have the chances to take them, right? I mean, have the chances / will they go in? I hope, because it changes a lot if they do.
All right, let's do that hypothetical then. Let's say Dwight Powell turns into like a 33, 34% three-point shooter. What does that do for the Mavs?
Oh, well, then you have shooters everywhere. I mean, if he can be a 35% three-point shooter, then okay, now you're making – I mean, he's still going to be the guy that the teams leave open and say, all right, you can shoot the ball. But it does change a lot. It changes a lot of space if he can hit it.
Yeah, it allows – yeah, like you said, because then all of a sudden the Dwight pump fakes that we make fun of people for falling for, like anytime a defender falls for a Dwight Powell pump fake the last couple of years, we just laughed at them, right? I would just tweet their name in like all caps and say,
it's happening Thursday night. Somebody's falling for the Dwight pump.
Oh, for sure, and it'll happen. But that pump fake becomes real. That pump fake, if he's actually hitting threes, if he becomes a 3-point shooter and he is hitting at a decent clip, then all of a sudden the pump fake doesn't become as ridiculous. And then that adds another guy that can pump fake and drive off the dribble a little bit. He's not going to do it into traffic or anything. But when Dorian added that to his game, it added a lot to the Mavs offense. Because then all of a sudden, then the joints are like greased, right? Because then Dwight can do this and Dorian can move this.
It's what Golden State looked like against the Lakers when they had Belly out there. Like, all the guys out there could shoot when they were running Belly at the center spot. Like, that's when it was just everybody's flowing, everybody's moving, and all of that.
They can all move, and they can all shoot, and they can all move off the dribble. That's what in offense. That's what you really want in offense.
Joseph also says in chat, I'm more worried about Green's 3-point shot. I actually think I agree with that. I think I'm more confident in Dwight Powell's 3-point shot than Josh Green's.
Well, we've seen, how long has Dwight Powell been in Dallas? Since 2014. We've seen him work on that 3 since then, right? Yeah. I mean, that's years. That's like 7 years we've seen him work on this 3-point shot.
Yeah. Pacers just lost.
Rick Carlisle lost the first game against the Hornets. What are our big takeaways from Rick Carlisle's first loss? Here's another question from Joseph. How many games before we see Kidd get ejected?
I don't know, man.
I think that might take a while. I think that might take a couple until this goes into something I've been thinking about. What happens when the season starts taking a turn where the Mavericks it's not going well for the Mavericks? How does Jason Kidd respond?
I think that's one of the biggest things we got to see, because it's been peaches and
cream
and lollipops, since like they started playing basketball. I mean, they haven't lost a game in preseason. They're saying all the right things in training camp. The team chemistry seems awesome. Media day was awesome. Everybody's saying the right things. Like it's going well. But what happens when the first 3-game losing streak happens? How's the post-game comments? How's KP? How's Luka? How's Kidd? Like, I'm fascinated about that.
Everything looks good. The vibes are like
vibes are immaculate.
The vibes are immaculate when everything's going well, but when it starts to take a turn, it'll be interesting to see how will Kidd respond. Let's say Luka plays a game where he's just not getting any calls. We've seen these games before. Luka doesn't get any calls. He's complaining to the refs. How will Jason Kidd come to his aid or try to help him? We've seen quotes from Jason Kidd. You don't have to yell at refs. You can do other things. And so, I don't know. All this Zen stuff goes away when you start losing games, I think, pretty quick. All right. Last question. Sal said, are we going to see a trade before All-Star weekend? Who might get traded on the Mavs?
On the Mavs?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
Because going into this season, we thought there's no way they're going to take all these centers into camp. And here they are with all these centers. So I'm kind of with Sal. I'm like, there may be a trade still happening, or at least the Mavericks are primed for a trade. But who's the package?
I honestly think everybody's on the table. I mean, outside of Luka. I mean, I think there's still a world that even no matter what you think, or no matter the best case scenario for the next 3 months of Kristaps Porzingis, I think until that deadline passes, I'm still in the back of my mind like, possibly. Like, I don't care how good he looks, because there's still always the, okay, do you sell high because of the injuries? Do you like all of that stuff if he's playing incredible? Or do you I think there's still going to be a question mark even up to the deadline. And then outside of that, if he's looking great and everything's awesome and you can go out and get somebody else, like what if Jalen Brunson really that's why I don't think if you're telling me who's the most likely, I think it's like Moses Brown or like Josh Green. I think it's like one of them.
Yeah. Because those young guys, you can throw them in as a little sweetener. I think the Willie Cauley-Stein, Trey Burke combo of contracts, that seems to be primed for a combination of those two guys and something else for another player, right?
Yeah, because like Willie and Willie and Trey Burke, will get you to like what, 7 million, something like that. So yeah, I mean, we'll just see. We'll see what Dallas thinks of the roster too. Are they still going swinging this year for a bigger name, or do they look at their roster if they start off 13-4 and they're like, man, this is awesome? Do they swing for it, or do they say, no, we just need to tinker and just move around the edges?
Good morning, Isaac.
Everybody on the stream, stick around. We're going to continue to answer some more questions. We're going to go rapid fire and answer some of your questions. Everyone in the podcast, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're getting so close to 8,000. Thank you for everybody that has done that so far. The season starts tonight. Let's go. I'm so excited for the Mavericks to actually play a game. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every single day. We will be back with a post-game recap. Mavericks versus Hawks. Now make your second listen today. Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Josh Lloyd hosts the #1 fantasy basketball show on the planet. Like literally millions of views right now. Just like dominating everything. Free and available on all platforms. Go check it out. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom. Let's go.
Joseph. It's Mavs regular season eve.
Whoo! I'm ready.
All
All right,
right.
this is now we can chill out a little bit. That was the podcast, and now we
This
can.
is the party. Crack one open. Let's hang out, guys.
I was gonna say this is the party part, right? Like this is.
What do y'all want to talk about? Let's do it.
There was somebody that asked us a question I didn't. Oh, Mavs
Really?
Zero said.
Somebody asked this question. There's so many questions you skipped.
Oh, I was going through. Who's your favorite Mavs media person?
Nick.
Nick Wright?
You want to do our least favorite? No, I'm just kidding.
Kevin? No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Dude, I love Kevin Gray. Kevin Gray's great. Love talking to Kevin Gray every time I do a show with him.
Who's your favorite? It's so hard to pick a favorite. A lot of people we've got to know over the years.
Okay.
That's the most political answer right there.
That is. Okay, RC asks, why would you want to trade KP if he's playing at an all-star level?
Because there's still past injury stuff.
That still is a thing. I know this is his first healthy offseason since he's been a Maverick, but that doesn't mean he's going to continue that. So like that is still a problem. So I think there's still a scenario where the Mavericks trade him.
Like if he plays this entire season and he's fully healthy and you go into next season and somebody says, "Hey, would you put down $5,000 that he's going to be healthy this season?" You're not doing it because you're still like in the back of your mind, like, okay, that's great. Like it would take like 2 seasons of like majority healthy in that for me to be like, all right, maybe he's past all of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think there's still, there's benefits and downsides to both, right? You keep him, you're like, okay, well, you have a center that can shoot the three, that spreads the floor for Luka, that does incredible stuff, right? Like the analytics behind it are insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's downsides. Bates wants to know if Luka's defense will take a step forward this year.
I think he got a lot better last year. So, I mean, honestly, if he could just play at the level he played at last year, I'm cool with. But can it get better? I mean, I think he still can get better. Yeah.
I would love to see more of the Dirk swipe down on drives and just like him nail like the ball when he does that swipe down move. That's the one I think it is like an elite defensive move from a guy like a Luka or Dirk or Jokic does that really well. Guys like that, like if he can get that move down, that's I think another step where you're just that much smarter than everybody. You know what they're gonna do. You can see it. Like it's almost like if you played older like 2K or NBA Live, you know as soon as somebody's going into like the shot motion animation, you're like, okay, this is actually a shot, not a pump fake. You can like know the difference. If Luka can do that, then that's another step forward he can take. You can look for questions too.
I'm trying to upload my audio from the podcast. I can't see the chat right now.
Andrew says, what will be the closing lineup by the end of the season? So Tim Cato wrote about this a little bit in The Athletic, and we all want to see the Reggie Bullock in for Dwight Powell with the starting unit. Like we all want to see that one as that one seems to be the best.
We are not alone in this either. There are a lot of people who are wanting to see this.
Yeah, so it'd be Luka, KP, Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, Tim Hardaway Jr. That'd be right there. That's your lineup. So Tim is 6'5", 6'6", so everybody is 6'5" and above. That's a big lineup.
Yeah.
And then you also got the two wings that can defend, Tim Hardaway Jr. that can chase guys around.
See, I don't even know if this is going to be by the end of the season. I think there's a likelihood we could see that sooner. I think there's a real world that like they have like who is guarding. I'm very, very curious of even this game one. Who's guarding all the point guards? Dre, Damian Lillard. I mean, it's every other game. Steph Curry. Is this Dorian's job? Like, is this going to be the Dorian assignment? Is he ready to take on the smaller point guards? Because if not, it's Tim. And that's why it's like if Reggie Bullock was out there, it's like, okay, well, Reggie Bullock's your guy. So it's the smaller point guards that I'm fascinated to see, unless they just say, screw it, score, put up 30 a game. We don't care. Well, I'll score you.
Yeah. DeLon Wright is on the Hawks. Can we see any DeLon Wright revenge?
No, you actually be good to have a revenge game.
Here we go.
You told me to pick a question. I pick a question. You take it off.
Oh, I just hit. Go ahead. Put it back up. Sorry.
I just clicked on it, and now I don't even know where it's at. I lost it. Just kidding. It's right here.
I was like, it should be right on it.
Joseph just said, "Where'd you get your 2K poster?" I actually got it at American Airlines Center. One of the preseason games, they handed them out going out the door. And you know what? I don't think media people really supposed to grab these things, but I was like, "Hey, can I get one of those?"
I gotta get one. I just gotta get
they
one.
gave one to me. So cool.
Let's do. Anybody want to do some life advice? Questions on dating, questions on love, questions on career stuff, situations in your life that you need some questions on.
Yeah, send us some locked on. We already got one locked on love advice question coming in. Send us some life advice stuff. Love talking about that. But Jacob asked about cute stories for kids. I don't have a specific one right now. We're just in that phase where like both kids are saying "I love you," and there's just something about a kid saying "Love you, papai," "Love you," "Love you, mamai."
Papai.
Yeah, he said thank you the other day when we opened the door for him, and it was like he understood that was like a gesture for like and to help him. He's like, "Thank you, papai." Oh, bless your soul, bro. Like,
I got to babysit your kids the other day.
Yeah.
And you're like, watch out. One of them is a cuddler. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll see. They seemed really like standoffish. And then like halfway through Space Jam, the old one, all of a sudden falls over right on me. Just fell over right on me. And I was like, wow, having kids is adorable all the time.
Yes, it is.
Real quick before we get to the Locked On Love one, from Chase. My girlfriend listens to the pod more than I do now. When do I marry her?
I mean, where's the ring should have already been bought. So
it should be a ring.
What's your girlfriend's name?
Yeah, Chase,
you gotta let us know
your girlfriend's name. It should be one of those rings that pops off like the Bucks ones and has a raccoon logo in the middle of it.
You know, this is what we need to do. This should be on our bucket list for a pod. Somebody needs to incorporate us to a proposal.
Wow.
And we'll put it on the pod. We'll do this thing.
Wow.
We even we'll try to do like a live pod somewhere to where they actually like
Leslie
come on the pod and Leslie comes, on the pod and you're like on the other screen. And
yeah. Oh,
we got to figure this out. Chase, whenever you're ready to pop the question,
Chase,
don't do it at the game. Don't do it at the game. It's lame, but you know what? A podcast is not lame. It would be
not much hurts my heart more than seeing somebody get proposed to while the Mavericks are losing like by 20 points.
and the girl is just like, and just like hugs and doesn't answer. You're like, oh, that's we'll talk later. What are you doing?
My hope is that they're like, we already did the engagement. This is just sort of a bonus fun thing because we both like the Mavs. That's my hope, that they all are like that, but you never know.
Dang.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Chase said he's definitely gonna hold us to this. Yeah, man, do it. Like,
well, please
we'll make you a third box on here, and you can ask your girlfriend.
I'm all ready. I would love to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, Jacob, definitely. Yeah.
Jacob says, I missed the voicemail number you guys used to have for us. Believe it or not, shocking. The internet is tough sometimes, and we got some really hateful voicemails on it.
It got so bad I just deleted it. That's how bad it got. So we're like, the anonymity of even that was just like too much for people. Some people have had luck with it, but the other part about this and like people ask about Spotify Green Room and all that stuff. People just come on those and they just start rambling. I'm sure you guys have been on a Spotify Green Room or heard one of those voicemail bag podcasts that people do, and like a person just talks for 3 minutes. Right. Yeah. And they don't have a podcast and they don't have a lot of practice. And so they're just not that good at it. And so that doesn't make real good content for us. And so just pull back the curtain a little bit. We decided not to do this, and we'll do it in this venue.
Pull it back even further. Our contract ran out with Spotify Green.
Yeah. Also true.
If we're going to do a live chat on somewhere, we're going to do it somewhere where we can get some money off of it.
All right. It's time. Mav Zero asked the question. Locked on love advice. I'm talking to a girl I met from Bumble for a month now, but she still doesn't want to meet up yet, but wants to meet eventually. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I mean, my first initial thought was, man, you're getting catfished, but I do want to leave it open to like we don't know her past experience with Bumble, right? Like we don't know if she's
Or
met
with
some,
anything, any kind of relationship.
yeah, and like we don't know if she's tried out Bumble or Tinder or whatever it is. And it's like she's had some bridges burned. She's like, I just don't, man, like these are some dumb guys. I thought they were cool, and now her commitment like to herself and like to her friends, it's like I'm gonna take it extra slow this time. Like if this is gonna be somebody that's gonna be a jerk, then I'm gonna really get to know them through texting, Bumble, whatever it is, before I meet them. Because if they are like, then they're gonna have to slow play it themselves. So I don't want to go all in and say you're getting catfished. I'm going to go on the good side and say, hey, she's taking it slow. Maybe she's been hurt before.
Also, when you meet somebody in person, that's a step forward in a relationship now, right? It didn't used to be, but now all of a sudden that's a step forward. It's like if you start going if we talk about the ladder of engagement with like listeners and stuff, but the ladder of relationship starts from like you meet somebody, you talk to them, you get to know them, and now it's like you meet somebody, you get to know them, you talk about them, and you actually see them in person. That's like a whole step for a relationship. And so she may not be ready for that step yet.
Have you found her? Well, it's kind of a weird question, but have you found them on Instagram? Like, are y'all Instagram friends? Let me say that instead of have you found her on Instagram? Can you, to where you at least like the pictures match up? At least I'd feel a little bit better in the catfish world than.
Yeah, that whole thing is fascinating to me. Like, like if you're just talking via text or via messaging, if you've never done a phone call, maybe a phone call or a FaceTime starts it, right?
Dude, some people are so anti-phone call now. Like I'm not, yeah. I go back and forth on phone call. Like for some things, I'm like, hey, let's just text. It's kind of like the whole thing of like, hey, this meeting could have been an email. But some of these like phone calls could be, but I'm all here sometimes for like long phone calls, like to catch up with the best buddy back home or something. It's like, hey, let's do that instead of texting for like 2 days.
Any big like podcast or network or Mavericks thing that happens, immediately I'll get a call from Isaac, or Isaac will get a call from me.
Yep. Bro,
when are we talking about this tonight?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, good question though. Andrew actually had a follow-up to that. He said, I messaged my wife for over a month before meeting in person on Facebook. Been married for 4 years. Sometimes you just gotta be patient.
Oh, what's up, Andrew?
That's a success story right there.
This is a testimonial. So,
right, we
got block. We
got a follow-up. She definitely comes from the slow angle. She sent me videos and pictures and voice recordings. So 99% sure it's her. Yes, she's on
Instagram too. Okay, you're not getting catfish, bro.
That's what you were worried about. He's worried about that she's not wanting to commit or wanting to take that next step, and why.
No. Now, if you're like 6 months, if you're 6 months down the road, I'm a little worried. But a month, 4 weeks, no. If you know she's real, then take it slow, Mavs Zero. You're good.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Leslie's in the chat.
Holy.
We just gave away his whole thing.
Dang it. We just ruined it all.
Dang it. We ruined
Leslie,
his whole
you're not
engagement.
telling me you would not like a Lockdown Mavs proposal? She hopped in the chat. I love this. Leslie,
now we got to wait a certain amount of time.
Leslie, tell me what's the biggest thing y'all have argued about?
You're welcome, Mavs Zero.
Let us settle the argument. Tell us something that you and your soon-to-be fiance are like at odds. Like you have two different perspectives
about the Mavs, right? About the Mavs.
Mavs. She says, "Give me a second, and then we'll try to decide on who's right."
She's getting gas.
She's like, "Hold on, I'm out of Texaco. Hold on." So.
Or is she typing out something in a notes app because she's gonna gaslight him? Right? Is that what she mean by I'm putting gas?
Oh,
like, all right,
we can't take notes app things.
I'm fueling up. No, she just copies and pastes it and put it. It's easier to do that. Here's another success story online. Taylor Lewis, about to be married 9 years, met on Match, talked for a month before meeting in person. Works. Sometimes it works, man.
Y'all should be in a commercial. This is adorable.
You think people get paid for being in those commercials? The testimonial type people?
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, how else would they hop on?
They've already been paid in love, Isaac. They've already been paid in love.
I will do this for free. Put me on your commercial.
All right. Well, we're holding on because we're waiting for Leslie.
We're waiting on Leslie at this point.
She's probably getting asked for money at the gas station right now. She's tried to use the card reader, and the card reader.
Wait, I got to remember her fiance's name.
She said, "What's the question?" It was Chase, right?
Chase. Leslie, here's the thing. Give us something. Give us something that you and Chase are like. That you and Chase are kind of like at odds about. Like you're like not technically like all argument. Like I don't want in your business on this, but what's something? What's something that y'all are just totally opposite ends of the spectrum on? Like he believes something about something, you believe something on something. You're like, we just can't meet in the middle. And Nick and I will tell you who's right. Just don't tell us.
Yeah, we're not trying to ruin the relationship either. So
don't tell us who's who on like what side you're on. This could go really bad. I didn't think.
Yeah,
about it,
I was gonna say we
don't pick up anything like serious. Like if y'all are two different religions, I can't jump into that right now.
Yeah,
but,
like what John said is not something we want. Trey, what's up, man? Appreciate you listening. We're hanging out with Leslie and Chase right now. This is our relationship couple at the front of what we've already done. We've done an hour of Mavs stuff before this. So if you guys are just joining in, you can go back and listen to that if you want to.
I feel like we should do a couples therapy session right now.
I'm ready.
Leslie and Chase.
I'm ready for it. Leslie's still like,
how did you know you were in love?
Ooh.
Leslie,
do they know? We don't know what their relationship is like.
Chase,
right now.
Chase. Oh, she's typing it right now. Chase, have you said I love you?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I'm ready. John, get out of here with those questions. This is a fun chat tonight. Yeah, I can't think about that human being. The anticipation's got me.
I know. I'm sitting there. Leslie's typing it up. Chase.
How do we still have 75 people watching?
Do you think they're sitting next to each other in the car typing furiously?
Are you in the same car? That's what we need to know. Or Chase is at home really sweating this out right now.
Yeah, they've said I love you.
Okay. All right. We know what we're working with.
Wait, I got this is for RC.
We've been dating. We've been dating.
They're not the same person.
Oh, Chase is at home sick. Chase, you got COVID, bro? Are you good?
No, stop.
No,
YouTube is gonna flag us for misinformation.
I just asked. You trying to work the pump? Are you at work right now? You work at Texaco?
Leslie has been getting gas for 20 minutes.
Oh, is that card like not working right now?
She said earlier they made her go inside.
Okay, strep throat.
He's got
that
strep
sucks. Get some medicine for that, but don't let Leslie sick though. She's got to put gas.
Jose, yes, this is Locked On Mavs After Dark. We don't do anything scandalous. We just try to break up a couple and by airing out their dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Our biggest problem is you don't know how to pump gas.
Leslie, did you tell him? Did you tell him they need to be locked on Mavs? You're like,
I feel like I should be playing
on the Mavs?
I feel like I should be playing Call of Duty or like Fortnite or something while this is happening, like on Twitch.
No, I'm ready. Okay. Are y'all arguing right now about pumping gas? We can step in. She said, "Stop, Chase. I'm ready for this. We should start a whole different pod." Just locked. All right, gas is done. I'm loving the play here. Leslie,
I know.
Leslie, you're typing as you typing. How
have more people not left by now? That's my question.
I know, because they're waiting to see what's their biggest argument right now.
They're trying to figure out what's happening with Chase and Leslie.
Leonardo Hernandez earlier said, "This is so."
Oh
cute.
no! Wait, we got a.
Right,
Leslie's trying not to get snatched by this white van.
Whoa!
Be careful.
Whoa!
The question is, what's a disagreement that they have that we can help them sort out?
Yeah,
in their relationship.
Where are they at odds about something? Where are they disagreement on something? This is great. How boring is my life, Jim? Really?
You're hanging out with some friends. We're talking.
My wife is waiting to watch The Bachelor right now, so she doesn't know that I'm still on YouTube, waiting to see what's going to happen with Chase and Leslie, because Leslie is worried about a white van as she pumps gas.
Jacob says, "Do you fold or hang shirts?"
Both.
Yeah.
T-shirts I fold, unless it's like a fun T-shirt.
I found there's certain T-shirts that they wrinkle if you fold them. Maybe I'm wrinkling.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm folding wrong, but I was gonna say the last thing we heard from
Here we
Leslie
go.
was that
Here
she
we
was
go.
trying to not to get snatched. By the way,
Here we go. We don't really argue, but
she threw the
anticipation. Here we go. She's about to say like Chase is a Rockets fan. I'm gonna flip out.
If you leave the podcast right now, you're gonna miss out.
Oh, Chase says, "Oh no, Chase is sweating bullets. I'm ready. I'm on the edge of my seat."
At home, and he's sick now. Like we've made him double sick because of this.
What's going on, Leslie?
Oh,
what about
the big
the Cowboys?
one?
Chase thinks Dak sucks, doesn't he?
One's a Zeke guy and one's a Dak.
Leslie, tell us what it is. Who's better, Zeke or Pollard? We'll tell you.
Chase is a Colts fan. How is Chase a Colts Mavs fan?
All right, I take back all the thing I said about the proposal on the pod. You're a Colts fan? What are you a fan of?
Stop. Neither of us are Cowboys fans, so
pray for Chase. I will. Let me put him down. I have a prayer list on my notes app. Let me put Chase down.
I can't believe this video is just gonna live on the internet somewhere of us just trying to figure out. Okay, so wait, so we don't know why Chase is a Colts fan. I'm just gonna be
real. If this is your biggest argument, you're winning. Like this is awesome. True.
She said they don't really fight.
And Leslie, you win this argument every single time. There's nothing. What do the Colts have over the Cowboys? They had Peyton Manning. She's getting pissed off now.
How does he rep the Mavs but not the Cowboys?
Don't forget to take the pump out of your car.
Okay, so you're a person that rep the Mavs and not the Cowboys though.
Yeah, so I'm ready. Oh, okay, he said I love Peyton when I was little. Okay, cool. Peyton's been gone for a while.
Leslie said they have hurt players.
Leslie, you rooted for Dak last year, and I don't think
he didn't get hurt. And that offensive line always seems to get hurt all the time.
Aiden comes in here with a
real Mavs
question.
Sorry, bud. We did an hour Mavs show before this, so
I got you. Who's the breakout star for the Mavs this year? His name's Chase Cox.
No, Leslie. Leslie's the star.
Leslie Cox?
They have not gotten married yet. We can't throw that yet.
I love how now they're arguing in the chat. Win or lose. The Cowboys haven't done anything in 25 years. Okay, so y'all just argue about sports. That's cute. That's adorable. Chase, you need to pop the question. What's the holdup? Chase, let us know in the chat. Why have you not asked Leslie to be your wife yet?
Ooh, yeah. What stage of the relationship are we at?
This is good.
We know they've said I love you. We know that they.
My wife jumped in the shower. She's done with this.
She's done with this. Finished.
Oh. Chase hasn't done anything in 25 years. I don't even know what to say. That was great.
That may be the place we need to stop.
Chase, have you not?
Chase said I'm being verbally assaulted. This is not okay. Oh, they argue about The Bachelor being real.
Oh, let me know where you stand on this. I'll give takes all day.
Yeah, who stands on which side?
I'm ready.
How have we gotten more listeners by
Chase? You haven't. Chase hasn't done anything in 23 years. Wow. I'm assuming that means you're 23 years old. Unless she's giving you for something you did when you're like 4.
Chase says The Bachelor is staged. I'm with Chase. The whole thing is fake. I can't.
All right, here's the thing.
The only time I can get into The Bachelor is after lots of margaritas. That's the only time.
Here's the thing. It's influence. There's a difference between it being fully staged and being influenced. I think the producers influence what happens on the show, but they don't control everything that happens. And I think there can be real love. There's some great couples that just came out of Paradise. Kenny and Mari, great couple. There's a lot of good couples. Joe and Serena, great couple. 2006 finals. Yeah. That was a little bit more rated than The Bachelor, though. All right. This has been good. I need to go watch something with my wife.
Taylor said, Isaac, you're a minister. Can you just marry them right now?
I can. Let's do it.
That's the next thing. We marry them on the pod.
Hey. Leslie Chase, you ready? I can marry you right now.
Oh, if Chase and Leslie break up now, it's over for the pod, I think.
I'm ready. John, of course I do.
Yeah, he really is into Bachelor. Like,
Riley,
he
Riley,
really
I was
is.
all a big Riley fan. I loved Ivan. Ivan's Dallas based, and he's kind of a snake now. There's a lot of Bachelor Dallas based people.
Chase said I do. So did they just get married?
Chase, let us know. We can do a Mavs marriage over live stream. I'll marry
Wow.
you guys. It's over for Chase because I'm a.
Oh, who's taking too long to learn Spanish? Chase is taking too long?
Wait, Leslie, is Spanish your first language?
Leslie said I do too.
What?
Chase said I do in the chat, and Leslie said I do too with the cat face emoji.
Wait, I haven't asked them if they're like.
Chase is pro me. He's team Nick now. That's what's up.
Chase, go learn Spanish.
There you go, guys. We appreciate everybody jumping on. This was fun. Chase and Leslie, if you break up, I'm probably gonna be devastated and may have to take a PTO day just to get over it.
You can't break up. You gotta stay together. Chase, you know what? You need to suck it up with the strep throat and go pump Leslie's gas. That's what we got to do.
No, we need to not be spreading sickness around the place right now. This is not a time to do that.
Okay, that's true. John says best pot of the year. Man, I don't know if this is best pot of the year, but
there you go, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with us. All of you that just stuck with us this whole time. Mavs play tomorrow night. I know I kept saying tonight because I was doing the podcast earlier, but the Mavs play tomorrow night. We're so stoked. I'm excited to see what happens. And if they get a win,
ready.
you know where to go.
What are you predicting? How much do the Mavs win by?
Mavs win by 4. Wait, I meant to look up the line, but BetOnline was down earlier because too many.
They didn't
people
pay for today.
No, too many people were using the fastest and easiest way to put down some
The
money on.
vibes are immaculate. I'll take the Mavs by 7.
The vibes are immaculate.
Yeah,
Mavs by
BetOnline's still not up. It's too many people are using BetOnline. It's down. There you go, guys. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back. And yeah, thanks so much for listening to Lock On
Post-game
Mavs.
pod. We'll have a post-game pod tomorrow
sure.
night after the game.
Peace out.